Captain's log, 5:40 p.m. on 5/9/2022. And when I woke up this morning, I had done a live stream last night, and this morning I felt like the live stream wasn't that good. And I've never felt that way before. And I felt like I let myself down. And I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with me. Because, damn it, I did do good. So I'm like, what the hell? And I'm starting to get information from within and above. My soul, basically, information. Being high strung is the issue. And my epiphanatus was, how do I feel bad about this performance, basically? And it was, I didn't have the high rate of anxiety that I normally have before, during, and after a show. Normally, there's a chemical ride I go on dealing with live streams because such unfamiliar territory, and it's so odd. And it's not just odd in the sense new and weird and different, because I'm totally into that. I will explore that all day long. But that I'm in front of my peers and that I'm probably being judged. That I know people project things onto me, and I try to be as clear and real as possible so that the projections won't stick. That's all I can do. That is my defense mechanism, is bringing truth and reality and hoping for the same in return, right? What more can one do? So the epiphanatus was that my stress levels were not at great heights. I've also dealt with the illness recently and fighting off bacteria and germs, going through cleansings and being very serious about it. And that makes me, raw and delicate and receptive. And when I'm in a receptive mode, because I'm so well trained and through all my past lives as someone who can turn off the ego and turn on the soul and be in the soul realms while awake in the body, that takes a very special kind of lotus-like surrender. And my job, really, and I guess a lot of people don't know this, but the job of a true psychic is one of great surrender, great faith. And I walk that path like a master. I really do. I'm pretty proud. So, being high strung is what really got my attention when that's what I heard clairaudiently, high strung. And I answered back audibly, out loud. I was like, high strung? I've been so high strung all my life. I've been above my body, like trying to run and be in a space that is closer to my truth, actually, which is the glitch in the matrix here. The truth of my soul is known to myself because I know thyself. Therefore, I have that multipass to travel at will between dimensions, and not physically, of course. I'm not talking about blue chickens and crazy new age weird stuff. I'm talking about the real thing, soul travel. I'm a psychopomp. And that was cultivated over many lifetimes. However, in Egypt, it was natural. Back in Egypt. I'm not going to explain that right now, but that's just what came with the gig, man. But then, becoming more human in other lifetimes after that, speaking linearly, of course, grounding and becoming closer to Mother Earth and more like one of her creatures and less like a creature of heaven. But then through alchemy, combining the two and becoming the alchemical marriage within, which is something Hermes has taught me so much about and I've spoken so little about. So that glitch in the matrix of being high-strung and running home basically isn't a form of escapism. It is literally my soul going home to gather light so that I can come back and deal with this mess here on planet Earth in a very real way, in very real time, under Chronos. If you're hearing this in the physical realm, your soul too is under Chronos. Okay, Chronos is time. We are travelers in time, but we are also somewhat stuck in time, at least physically. So the way home, for me, heaven home, higher realms, realms beyond the densities and reach of evil and darkness, realms of light and love. The way home was shown to me in the worst horrifying, frightening way possible, but how do you get someone home quickly? Scare the bejesus out of them. Well, sleep paralysis is something I had since I can remember, even in the crib. I was haunted by a 3D shadow of a male figure that felt like pure evil and brought all of the intentions, knowledge, and suffering of hell with him to my bed almost every night. That was my doorway out of samsara, straight through hell. And then my consciousness, my memory would leave me. But I know now I was going to heaven home to gather light. And I felt very much like a child in the woods in a fairy tale that has to get through Baba Yaga's house to become the hero. So I was actually trained in herohood since birth, basically, and even before my mother gave birth to me, there was great drama. That's a little bit about me, but also explains why being high-strung and being full of angst and stress is very unhealthy for a psychic, a true psychic. And I remember when I was younger, even though situations were stressful, I didn't actually have stress. I worried, but I didn't have a physical reaction to stress, except for maybe crying. But since I've grown in light, I'm thawing out in many ways from the frozenness that I had to have to protect myself in this horrible world. And through this unthawing process of alchemy, I get in touch with things that are close to the soul, but still part of the ego, and heal those things, obviously, with love. And I first began healing this anxiety I developed. I developed the anxiety through being re-traumatized, through having my Kundalini awakenings, which also led to physical abuse as an adult through my 30s and early 40s, being accosted and locked up, drugged, forcibly drugged, and months. I would be in the psych ward at the hospital for a month at a time because of the kind of insurance they got me on. And that being physically tackled by large men in small groups. There's a lot of trauma there. So I'm not even going to go into the whole story. But over that period of time, I had reason to be really very afraid in physical life. Even more so than when I was little and being abused by those who loved me, supposedly. Physically abused, battered. That's what happened to me again after I woke up out of this matrix. Only they were strangers. And it made me relive all these myths of burnt witches, and even John Lennon's death, and all kinds of stuff ran through me. Through all of these trauma times, I was re-experiencing the traumas of America and of Earth and of the people and of our history. And that's when I came up with the phrase, history is a nightmare that we all have to wake up from. But supposedly someone else said that before I lived. But that was definitely my phrase. I just might have screamed it so loud they heard it in the past. History is the collective nightmare that we must awaken from. And that's awakening in consciousness, because bitches are in a dream. Bitches are hypnotized. So I first began learning the art of chill when I was still in Kentucky, in a situation I wasn't happy with at all. And I knew through my visions that I would be going to LA, Los Angeles, California, and not only going here, but living here. And of course, that came true, but it took a while. And in that while it was taking a while, I was being re-traumatized, but also I had a dream. A rap star full of tattoos. I'll probably throw his name up on the screen with a picture. I can't remember his name right now. Is it Lil Wayne? He came to me in my dream one morning as I was waking up, and I was like, wow, that's a visual I don't normally see, you know? Some tatted up rap star with gleaming teeth looking at me like, okay. And he said, you need to learn the art of chill. I was like, all right. And so I've been used to having rock stars and even philosophers, you know, which is the gang coming around to see me. But that seemed like a lower vibration. That was someone who was alive. But sometimes that's how you have to hit me. Sometimes I want it real. And that was as real as it gets without a physical body telling me, hey man, art of chill. But of course, I felt more Bruce Lee about it. If it's an art of something, then it's got to do with the Bruce Lee energy. Also, the art of chill is Bob Marley as well. And I think his life can reflect that partially to us. Here he was singing these beautiful songs to the soul realm of us, dancing our souls up out of our consciousness for a while, you know, rocking the baby, as he would say. So Bob had that reggae vibe, and I think it's an excellent vibe for chilling and learning about the art of chill. And it is something that I found that I did when I was getting closer to my soul and an awakening personality has dealt with the ego for the most part, right? Then there are the deeper layers that eventually get you to touch the soul. But you've got to work through those layers. And as I've described for me, my layers are unthawing. And as I unthaw, I get more information of how to heal all the way to the soul. And it is my estimation, an educated guesstimation, that this is how one embodies the soul completely without ego, but with personality. And personality is something Hermes has taught me a lot about. I learned about the ego through Sri Mama Devi of the Karma Kagyu Tibetan lineage of Buddhism, my guru. She taught me in so many ways about my ego And I thank her, and I always will thank her for showing me myself and putting me in my place so that I could become my true self. She is definitely a master. Om Namo Guru Devi Namo. So I was grateful that I was feeling my disappointment about my stream so that I could get into that layer that was hiding under there that may have also come out. Also, you see how this works. Physically, I was cleansing because I had an owie in my mouth and my jaw swelled up. And I was like, oh my God, this is scary. I don't want to go see doctors ever, ever, ever. And I'm a woman of faith, as I said before. And I looked up the instructions and I did the instructions. And through the generous love of others, I was able to purchase a few items that I needed to heal myself. And ta-da, and voila, that's happening. And now this morning, I'm getting the emotional information of what was going on and what I'm doing, and how the art of chill is very important and potent in my life, and how it's all working through alchemy. This is amazing. It's alchemy in real life, and that's why I've always been attracted to it. I always thought it was amazing. Even as a child, one of my favorite television shows was Bosom Buddies. And some of those who don't understand true alchemy, well, I'm sorry. Bosom Buddies was a television show where men were in drag. And it made me feel like I loved men, because before that, I was very afraid of men for very good reasons. However, after I saw these men in dresses, it made me feel compassion and love for them in a way I never knew. Like, wow, it's just a costume. So that's another Hermetic thing.
And women, okay, we made one adjustment.
Now these other ladies know us as Buffy and Hildegard.
But they also know us as Kip and Henry, Buffy and Hildy's brothers. I am crazy about the blonde.
It's very sweet, too, when you think about it. And those who don't truly understand alchemy may believe I'm conflating alchemy with the Hermetic marriage. But I tell you, there is no alchemy, period, without first the alchemical Hermetic marriage within. This is when the self knows thyself and then loves thyself. But that's a story for another day. I have since gone on to teach others about the art of chill. And in one special household, it has become a catchphrase. And I'm so proud of that and happy about that, to be able to touch people's lives in such an intimate way. I mean, I'm getting verklempt. But really, it's just what I'm here for, and it's so sweet. So I want to thank that household, that anonymous, beautiful household that I'm talking about. They knew who they are. So thank you for listening to me today. I hope that you did learn something. I did this on the fly, obviously, but I caught myself in my process, and I've never really been so open on the internet before. This isn't even a conversation necessarily I would have with a friend. And I was checking myself before I wrecked myself on that earlier. I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because who's your mirror? Who are you talking to? And I'm always doing that. I'm always have I been calibrating my conversations to the consciousness that I'm speaking with, to that level of consciousness I'm speaking with. So I calibrate low or high, and I never get to calibrate all the way up high with anyone. And here I am, not only learning the art of chill, but compassion to be able to share my lesson, because I was out sick and you didn't see me as much. And I want you to know there's a process, and that process is alchemy. And I'm not a commercial branded babe, nor shall I ever be. I'm from Sirius B. So get a load of me, you see? So that's Hermes. That's how I'm branded. Hermes girl. That's right. I'm a mercurial girl in a material world. So it's happening. It's all happening, guys. I just thanks for being here. I hope you learned something. I'm holding your hand through this darkness as I shine the light out from the highest tower, the highest temple, in here through LA, all the way to Micah Dank over in New York, and hopefully through your love around the world. Let's bring love back. I think that's something that we could all learn about. Work on loving yourself first and understanding that you are the most important person you will ever know. Until next time, blessed be and namaste. See me at occultpriestess.com.